Turn up the AC hot takes. You know what it is. It's your boy Fidos Jr. Vargas Dynasty going up. Don't act like you don't know. We're the only three brothers that really running shit in the boxing game. You know?
Welcome to another installment of Turn Up the AC Hot Takes with Reason on a solo edition. Now, as you can see, we're talking about Devin Haney's hit list. Devin Haney versus everybody. Bill Haney, father and trainer of Devin Haney, the two division champion, former lightweight undisputed champion, still holds an undefeated record due to the Ryan Garcia fight being a no contest. Coming off his worst performance, despite a victory, lackluster performance in a victory over Jose Ramirez, where he won every round. But that fight was a snooze fest, and Devin's faced a lot of criticism since that, and rightfully so. But before we actually get into this hit list, I do want to talk about this a little bit. Oscar De La Hoya recently talked about the potential for the Ryan and Devin Haney fight, the rematch, and let Oscar De La Hoya tell it, there is no rematch. He was fairly critical about Devin Haney's performance, talking about how Devin lost in the win. Like, if Devin had a terrible performance, that's fine. He did. But he won the fight. So what are we really talking about? Like, Garcia is the one that needs to redeem himself in more ways than one. First of all, the Osterine from the Devin fight. He looked amazing in the Devin fight. For you know what I'm saying, when he was whooping Devin's ass. And then he comes back, looks against Rolly, he's clean, and he doesn't even look like the same fighter. So if anybody has anything to prove, it's definitely Ryan Garcia. Because yeah, Devin looked shaky in the ring, but he still won his fight. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is getting back into the victory column so you can get back and continue to make adjustments as your career goes on. So that's kind of a big deal to me. I thought once you sign a contract, it's set in stone. Because let the reports tell it, you know, before Ryan lost to Rolly and before Devin had this news fest with Jose Ramirez, they're talking about that Garcia Haney 2 was signed for October already. So hopefully they can't back out of it, because both these guys need to fight. Both these guys need a knockout. Both these guys need to just continue to stay active and get into the ring at this point right now, because both Ryan and Devin, like, their stock isn't what it was. Devin especially, even though he just won and he's been playing by the rules. He's never popped. He's never tested dirty. To me, Devin Haney is one of the most disciplined fighters in the game of boxing, because he stayed at 135 2 years longer than he should have, and never missing weight once. Even him outgrowing 140 so fast, he never missed weight once. So I want to commend Devin Haney for that. But Garcia Haney potentially not happening next is kind of a big deal. But that leads us into Devin Haney versus everybody. This hit list that Devin Haney just put out, and it's now I'm seeing. So hear me out. So when we have fighters, we always say, oh, we want you to fight the best. We want you to fight the best. Yada, yada, yada. All this, right? We don't want to see you fight some scrub, some nobody. And you got somebody like a Devin Haney, who's like I said, not very popular right now in the sport. His stock, like I said, is at an all-time low right now. But he puts this list out, and I see a lot of negative, you know what I'm saying, feedback on it. And then I'm like, what are we really talking about? People are talking about Devin Haney is clout chasing. Devin Haney, he's going to lose 7, 8 of these fights. Regardless of who he loses to. All right, so the hit list is 10 fighters. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, it's going to be in my description below. So as this video is going, you can go ahead and open the description and take a look at the list, because we're going to be talking about it, right? You know what I'm saying? So number 1 on the list, well, let me just go through the list right now and give you the 10 names. He got Teofimo Lopez, he got Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, Boots, Brian Norman Jr., Mario Barrios, Keyshawn Davis, Rolly, Conor Benn, and Ryan Garcia. Now, that's an amazing list of 10 fighters. Now, I see a lot of people saying, like, he's going to lose 7, 8, 9 of those fights or whatever. And that's fine. He can lose all the damn fights. But my thing is, if he ends up his career with all 10 of those names on his resume, whether he wins or loses, we still got to commend that. Like, we got to big up these guys who are taking these fights, man. And Devin has shown he's with all the smoke. Devin ain't ducked the fight. He was ready to fight Shakur if that was what was going to happen, but Shakur didn't want to do the mandatory. He didn't want to take the 25 to 75%, and then that fight never happened, so Devin moved up to 140. So, but clearly he still wants Shakur because Shakur is number 2 on that list. Number 1 is Teofimo Lopez, and that, if that fight is next, I am very pleased with that fight. Now, previously, after the Fatal Fury card, we were talking about how Teo potentially could fight Boots next, and Ryan obviously with Devin. But if De La Hoya is saying Ryan and his camp are not interested in running that rematch, and if Teo moving up to 147 and Boots just isn't a likely thing to happen, because who knows what Boots is really trying to do right now, then who knows, Teo and Devin could fight next. And I'm all for that fight because Devin and Teo, they've had beef, they've had bad blood for some years now. They've been staring at each other since 135, since they're a part of the Four Kings with Teo, Devin, Ryan, and Tank. And I think I'm still here for the Devin and Teo fight. I always wanted to see that fight. I think it'll be a hell of a fight. I know y'all not going to agree with me with what I think could potentially happen, but you know, that's a hell of a fight. And I think this hit list is amazing. So shout out to you, Devin Haney. Shout out to you, Bill Haney. Whether you hate these guys or not, whether you with them or not, these guys, they may have certain ways about them that not everybody agrees with. For example, the lawsuit. But one thing, Devin Haney is, he's fighting everybody, man. And his resume over the past couple of years is very, very solid. He's got the likes of, he's got Loma on there. He's got, obviously, the loss to the no contest versus Ryan. He's got Jose Ramirez. He got a Linares on there. He's got guys like that. He's got, what was his name? The dude that fought Terrence Crawford. He was old at the time when he fought. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. It's going to come by later, but whatever. But yeah, like, he's got a lot of good names on his resume lately and over the past few years. And I just want to continue to commend Devin Haney because he continues to show he's with all the smoke. And so out of this list of 10, if it ain't Ryan, to me, the number one fight I want to see is a Teo and Devin. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be a great fight for both of them to fully get their feet wet at 147, because this would be both of their first fights at 147, because Devin Haney's last fight was at a catchweight with Jose Ramirez. And if not Teo, man, I'm Rolly. I think if it's not Ryan Garcia, the most logical fights next for Devin Haney would be either Teo, because there's history there, or Rolly, because logically that makes sense. Rolly beat Ryan, so it's only right Rolly moves on to Devin, if the Ryan fight doesn't happen. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about this hit list and really put it out there, because I think it's awesome that Devin Haney and Bill Haney continue to strive for the best fights. And another name on there that I think is very interesting is a Mario Barrios. Because if Barrios is able to beat Pacquiao in July, and Devin's able to get Barrios on his resume after that and somehow beat a Barrios, Devin's only going up. So these fights, I'm all for it. A couple ain't likely right now because, Keyshawn, I think he's still at 135, so he still has up to go up to 140. The Keyshawn fight probably won't happen anytime soon. Shakur's still at 35, and Tank, of course, is at 35. So those three are probably like the least likely of the 10. I would say the top three most likely are Teo, Rolly, and Ryan. And any of those fights Devin takes, I'm all for. And then, obviously, like Boots, it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But could in the next year, but I'm not seeing. I don't want to see that fight. But Barrios is there, the Keyshawns, the Brian Norman Juniors of the world. So overall, that's a great list from top to bottom. And if he's able to get these guys on his resume, he's gonna have one of the top resumes in boxing. So shout out to Devin Haney, shout out to Bill Haney for y'all. Continue to seek and strive for the best fights. I just wanted to drop my thoughts on this hit list. I think it's a great list, and the most likely candidates for his opponents next, I think Teo, Ryan, and Rolly. Any of those three would be great. And De La Hoya is saying it's not going to be Ryan. So out of Rolly and Teo, I'm cool with either one of them. Rolly would be cool because it's for a championship, and he just beat Ryan, so logically going into Devin after the Ryan fight would be big. But to me, like I said, Teo and Devin, I think, is the star power out of the 2 fights. And them two, they've had history. They've had beef since 35. And it's only a matter of time before they square off in the ring. And I'm all for it. So until next time, I just want to drop my thoughts on this hit list. Let me know who you think Devin Haney should fight next. Let me know what y'all think his record going to be in these lists of 10 fights. And, you know, that might be a topic of discussion for a next video, for a future video, to give what we think his record would be out of these 10 fights. So, because there's definitely some losable fights for sure. But I still think Devin Haney could win the majority of those fights. You know, that's not a popular opinion right now, but it's mine. So, shout out to you if you're still here watching. This has been Reason. Turn up the AC Hot Takes. Devin Haney versus everybody. The Haneys put out a hit list for the top 10 fights they want, with number 1 being Teofimo Lopez. So, until next time, this has been Reason. Turn up the AC Hot Takes. Who do you want to see Devin Haney fight next? And do you think he has any shot with these guys? And let me know who he beats and who he loses. So, until next time, Reason. Turn up the AC Hot Takes. We're out.